I was playing with my phone until at a point, after some time, I saw an unusual light from the balcony, which is not the light of a bulb.
Like a fire?
Like a fire.
Okay.
So immediately, I moved. When I moved, this is, of course, it's closer to the parlor. I saw that some kind of
flames.
Yes. Smoke. It's not a thick smoke, just like a flame. So when I opened, I now quickly, because you don't lock the door, I now quickly opened. It was when I opened the door that light just flashed on me. I said, because already that was what I was showing you people.
What are you trying to say?
These are fire bombs.
Okay. So
because people are telling me, why didn't you? In fact, some policemen were asking me, you ought to have been roasted with your wife inside. I said, what?
What did you now?
So at that point, when I saw that light and the thing fly, what I did was, I moved out. I started shouting for help. Okay? I said, please help, fire. Luckily, there's a security. He came. The other people, and I remember where I went to take that one bottle. Guys normally stay late there. Okay, it's a street.
Where was your wife then?
I'm coming. I don't know.
After 3 long years, the wait for justice is finally over. Benjamin Udu, the monster who set his wife and her brother on fire in a cold-blooded act of greed and betrayal, has finally been sentenced to death by hanging. This is the chilling conclusion to a story of a man consumed by jealousy, a woman who fought for her future, and a crime so heinous it shocked the entire nation. For those who have been following this case, you already know how Chinyere Udu, a hard-working woman who built a successful life for herself and her 4 children, returned home to Nigeria in March 2022, only to be brutally murdered by her own husband. Now, in February 2025, after years of legal battles, the court has finally passed its verdict. A story of greed, betrayal, and sheer evil, a story that sends a clear warning. Sometimes the person you trust the most is the one who will destroy you. Let's go back to March 31st, 2022, in Lagos, Nigeria. A woman named Chinyere Udu, 46 years old, had just landed at the airport. She had been away in Scotland for years, building a better life for herself and her 4 children. Chinyere was a hard-working, independent woman, the kind of woman many aspire to be, but her greatest mistake, marrying the wrong man. Chinyere met Benjamin Udu in the early 2000s when she was working as a banker in Lagos. He was charming, persuasive, and seemed to have big dreams. But soon after they got married, she realized she had made a grave mistake. Benjamin was abusive. He beat her. He insulted her. He controlled her. Even while she was pregnant, Benjamin attacked her so brutally that she had to leave the home she paid for to protect herself and her unborn child. But Chinyere was no ordinary woman. She picked herself up, bought her own land, built her own house, and took care of her 4 children all by herself. She moved on without him. But like a vulture circling its prey, Benjamin came back, begging. He promised to change. He swore he would never lay hands on her again, and after years apart, she let him back in. That was her second biggest mistake. In 2017, Chinyere got a student visa to further her education in Scotland. Her 4 children went with her, but Benjamin, he stayed behind in Nigeria. Some say he refused to go. Others say she didn't take him along because she knew he would hold her back. Whatever the case, while Chinyere was thriving abroad, Benjamin was plotting because he wasn't happy for her. He was jealous, he was angry, and he wanted to started making moves to sell Chinyere's properties. But there was one big problem. Everything was in her name. He had no control. He had no legal power, and that made him furious. Somehow Chinyere found out about his attempts to steal from her, and she made a decision that would cost her life. She came back to Nigeria. She didn't tell him she was coming. She didn't warn him. She just showed up unannounced, and that right there sealed her fate. It was March 31st, 2022, when Chinyere returned home. Her brother Ifeanyi picked her up from the airport and drove her home. Little did they know, death was already waiting for them. Benjamin was shocked to see her. He knew she had come to fight him for trying to take what belonged to her, but he didn't want a fight. He wanted revenge. He wanted her gone. That night, Chinyere and her brother went to sleep, probably thinking, tomorrow I will deal with this man. But Benjamin had other plans. Sometime after midnight, Benjamin got up, went outside to the backyard and picked up a gallon of petrol. He poured it all over the house. Then he locked the doors from the outside. And then he struck a match. The flames engulfed the house almost immediately. The fire spread fast, trapping Chinyere and her brother inside. They screamed. They banged on the doors, trying to escape. But there was no way out. Benjamin, now pretending to be a concerned husband, ran outside shouting, "Help! Fire! Fire!" Neighbors rushed to help, but when they tried to fetch water, they realized the water tank had been shut off 2 days before the fire. This was no accident. This was cold, calculated murder. By the time the fire was finally put out, Chinyere was gone. Her brother barely survived with severe burns. And do you know what the saddest part is? When their mother heard the news, she collapsed and died from shock. 3 lives lost because of one man's greed. But here's where justice finally came. As soon as Ifeanyi regained consciousness in the hospital, he exposed Benjamin as the killer. Benjamin was arrested immediately, and this demon of a man had the audacity to lie. He claimed he had nothing to do with it. He tried to play the victim, but witnesses saw him running with the petrol can, and police investigations exposed his lies. In February 2025, the court found Benjamin Udu guilty of murder, arson, and attempted property fraud. He was sentenced to death by hanging, and do you know what? He deserved it. Lessons from this case. Not every man is happy for his wife's success. Some men will rather see you dead than see you thrive. Abuse doesn't stop. If a man beats you once, he will beat you again, or worse. Be careful who you share your wealth with. Greed can turn love into murder. What do you think about this horrific story? Did Benjamin deserve the death penalty, or should he have gotten life imprisonment? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more real-life crime stories. Thank you for watching. Stay safe.